Does that work? Okay. So the topic, overachievement, or more the question, how do we surpass mediocrity in pursuing our passions? When I first read that, it really intrigued me. I thought about this idea of overachievement. I've always wanted to be an overachiever. I try to be an overachiever. I love it when people accuse me of overachieving. It's a good thing, right? I work in an atmosphere that is full of overachievers. All of the faculty here, all of my friends, my colleagues, they're huge overachievers. The students, the people that I'm looking at right now, the greatest overachievers I've ever known. It's an amazing thing. It's a good thing. Or is it? I started to think about the word overachieve. What does it really mean? So, like all good English teachers, I Googled it, and I wanted to know what the word achieve truly means. There were many, many definitions. These are two that I thought applied. To get or reach something by working hard, to become successful, to reach a goal. We all want to do that. It's what makes our life meaningful, to be successful, to have a goal and then reach it. It gives us joy. It makes people proud of us. It makes us proud of ourselves. A good thing. But overachieve has that prefix, the word over. So I Googled that word. Beyond some quantity, limit, or norm, in an excessive manner. Uh-oh, there's that word excessive. I wondered about that. I worried about that. Excess really isn't good. It has a negative connotation to me. So we've got this word achieve, all good things. Then we've got this prefix over that goes in front of it. What does that do to the word? I wondered, and I began to wonder what that prefix means to other words. So I looked it up. Do you know that there are 806 words that begin with the prefix over? And 796, according to me, have negative connotations. These are ones that don't, and most of them are nouns. Overcoat, overshoe. We've got overjoyed, that's a good thing. But there are only 10 of them out of 806. So I began to think about these negative words: overthink, overeat, over-anxious, overburden. One that I'm guilty of, over-romanticize, overwhelm. All negative connotations. So what does that mean about overachieve? Is it a positive or is it a negative? Surely, in some cases, it's positive. I began to think about my own life. Where has overachieving been a really positive thing in my life? It had really nothing to do with my achievement. About 15 years ago, I began to develop excruciating pain in my left arm. I didn't know what it was from. I worked through it, but it prevented me from doing some of the things I had previously done. Volleyball, even though my family would laugh at that. I was not a good volleyball player, but I liked it. I got so I couldn't sleep very well at night. It would bother me. It went up into my head. I had some headaches that got in the way of the things I really loved to do. Years went by where I suffered from this, and I just kept trying to ignore it. Finally, one morning, 10 years ago, I woke up in excruciating pain. I felt so much pain that I wanted to vomit. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't go to work. So I knew I had to go to a doctor. I went, and after an MRI and x-rays, they discovered that I had 2 discs that were pressing on the nerves in my neck, and I needed surgery. So I went to a neurosurgeon, and he said, yes, I can do this for you. I have 90% success rate. That's better than the national average, which is 80%. I thought, I wanted 100% success rate. I wanted to feel well again. I wanted to be able to do the things I had always done. I wanted to survive the surgery. He explained to me the dangers, the risks. He'd have to cut through my neck, and I think Jackie had the same surgery, cut through the front. Right here, I've got a scar to show. He had to push my jugular vein aside. He'd have to move my esophagus, and he'd have to dig down in there and pull out these 2 discs, and then take bone and infuse them into my neck. He didn't know until the time of the surgery whether it was going to be cadaver bone or my own. He was telling me all of this, and I'm thinking, wow, this sounds really scary, but I had lost my life. I could not do anything but sit on the couch in pain. So I knew I had to do it. And boy, did I hope that he was going to overachieve that day when he did that surgery. I wanted to know that he was not going to nick my jugular, that he was not going to nick the dura, which is the encasing around the spinal cord, that he was, in fact, not just going to fix my neck, but make sure that I was going to wake up from the whole surgery. I wanted him to overachieve. And he did. And he gave me my life back. And for me, it was a miracle. For him, it was his job that he did so well, and he overachieved, and I'll be forever grateful. So that was something that for me was worth doing well and overachieving. But not all things are. Not everything in life is worth doing well. You can't overachieve in everything that you do. It's impossible. Now, I know I'm talking to an audience of overachievers, and you all are used to doing almost everything well, but it takes its toll on you. I've been teaching seniors for a while, and about 7 years ago, I had a class of seniors, and for one of their final projects, they write columns for me. And they get to write about anything they want. And I had a student who was very successful at TJ. And he did well here, he got into a good college, he knew he was going to that college, and yet he felt compelled to write a column about achievement and doing well. So I'm going to read you a portion of that. My parents can get pretty unfair and unrealistic sometimes. Whenever they hear of something awesome achieved by one of my friends, one of their friends' kids, or one of their friends' kids' friends, they give me the, "Why can't you do the same?" look and speech. See, they have this theory about how to raise the perfect child. It basically goes like this: ditto everybody else's good traits. While I agree that it's not a good idea to ditto everybody's bad traits, this motto just doesn't work. I can be good at only so many things. My parents are information sponges, I swear. They use whatever news they can to encourage me to be faultless. Last year when I was taking AP Bio and AP freaking Physics at the same time, they told me how Person A was helping to make breakfast and dinner. Then they talked about how Person B scored 70 points higher than me on the SAT. Then they talked about how twins C and D had chess trophies as tall as me. My dad even made an absurd threat to make me quit my APs if I couldn't go to sleep at 10 p.m. every night like every other decent student at TJ. Then there's my cousin, the embodiment of excellence. His story basically involves him going from a middle-class, first-generation immigrant family to a full ride at Stanford and high-paying jobs. He buys his dad a laptop and his mom a piece of jewelry like every other year. In every scenario possible, my parents refer to him. But it gets worse than that. They want me to outdo him. I've been there, failed at that. There's no point in arguing with them. They defy common logic. They draw parallels to their days as students, talking about how they could cook, clean, and hold a job. They don't, however, mention flaws in their arguments, such as the fact that my mom got either 50s or 100s on school tests, more often the former, or the fact that my dad's job paid an almost negligible amount. No, these flaws in their arguments only manage to slip out when they give up trying to make me the epitome of mankind, which seldom occurs. Even if I can use these flaws to my advantage, they pull out the wild card by saying, "Don't talk back to your parents." It appears that my life is forever shrouded by my parents' idealistic aspirations. There's no use arguing against them. there also isn't any use listening to them. I can't be the best at math. Duh. I can't be the best at biology. Duh. I can't be the best at physics. Duh. Maybe I can be the best at chemistry, although there's another student coming in awfully close. By transitive property, however, I sure as heck can't be the best at everything. So I just want to leave you with that thought, that while yes, overachieving is a wonderful thing, it will bring joy to your life when you do something wonderful, but pick and choose. Overachieve where it really matters, where you might change someone's life, where you might bring joy to someone, do something good in the world. And everything else, it's okay if you don't do it quite that well. Thank you.